Hello, everybody. I wanted to welcome you all back to my little corner of YouTube. I know this is the first time you're going to hear me, Ashley, doing an art video with voice and PNG tuber. So, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a tour, if you will, about what I use for the 3D fractals that I do. This is the software that I use. It is called Mandelbulb 3D. And I'm still teaching myself and watching videos on how to do it, but it is freaking amazing. Um, I've used this for, I want to say, about a good 4 to 5 months. And one of the very first things that you want to do is you will see this image here. I always like to resize mine like 1500. I resize mine a little bit bigger because I'll leave my DeviantArt link down below where you guys can find all of my 3D fractal art prints. But what I love to do is resize my image, which you could easily resize, and uh, I do it in 4:3 aspect, and then I hit calculate 3D. And now this is the part that may take just a slight little bit of time, as you can see down here, by the main rendering and then ambient shadow calculations. If you go back and view some of my other, and I'll leave a playlist card in the top right description, in the top right corner, excuse me. Boy, I'm out of whack. But as you can see, I will use my scroll wheel to zoom. It gives you this really cool 3D image, and then you get to play around with formulas and numbers. One of the very first things I like to do when I go into something like this is I go into, this is called the mutagen screen. It will take your image and mutate it based on what you have over here. If you don't change any of these parameters over here, then let's just go ahead and do this. Let's put all of them to the middle and basically hit mutate. And now you will see right here, it'll all say parameters okay. And then as you can see with your images here, you get different mutations or generations of your image. Now, because I am one to really get into things, I love to change these a little bit. I hike up the probability of changing exchange atom remove formulas. You can either shrink the parameters of the formulas or up the parameters of the formulas. Change Julia mode. We'll do this. Change iteration count. I don't mess with that too much. And then you can see the different ones that you would get. I don't know how to describe this exactly. I love this right over here. So what you can do, you could go send the main editor or copy parameters to clipboard, or you could double click the image and it will take this image and make more generations of that particular mutation. Excuse me. So you can see that you can have tons of fun in this just by messing with these four mutation type bars. What I love to do is once we let this load up a little bit more, um, sometimes, what are you? Okay. I will send this to the main editor, and you notice that particular window goes behind your main screens. You hit calculate 3D, and then you give a time because it will make the image the size you have it. For me, 2500 by 1875. It's also rendering in all of these little shapes. At this time, I just click back on the mutagen and I close it out while it's doing the main render. Um, some of the really cool things that I love to do is I love to sit, play around with numbers. But one of the really cool things that I love to do is play with this navigator feature. Now, what this does, eh, to explain, is it has your render in the little screen right here. And then you can move with your letter keys E, A, C, Q, and D. And you can zoom it in, you can zoom it out, you can walk towards a specific area. And I'll go ahead and I'll show you. Let's go ahead and if you click on the image, if you click on the image once, you could drag the image any way you see fit. As you can see, it's there we go. So I want this area right here. So I drug the image, and depending on your computer, it may go fast, it may go slow. For me, it's in the middle. We could actually zoom in on a particular area. We can, I think it'll drag this down. Yep, so dragging your mouse down will bring it up. We do want this particular area right here, so we're going to continue to walk and zoom in to where we want to go. No, I want this. And you can also mess with these numbers, but I choose not to mess with the numbers because I've messed with the numbers, I think, one or two times, and it did not turn out good. Uh, I had to scrap an entire project. So I'm hitting D and it's moving to the right. Um, you can also use your mouse wheel. As you can see, it's zooming into the particular spot I want. And then when you get to the spot you want, which I'll stop here, you hit parameter. Parameter actually takes it back. Open, close adjustment panel. You guys are seeing this for the first time as well. So here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to pick a different spot because Ash messed up just then. Okay. Let's go up a little. Let us zoom in just a little bit more. I remember now. When you send it out, like if you mess with these numbers or anything like that, when you go to send this out, you will click on View to Main, and then you will close this and hit press Calculate 3D to render. Now, depending on how detailed it is, depending on what you do, if you mess with your formulas over here, which we will get to in a second, if you go back into mutagen and mutate it more, you will get a completely different image. Now, I could hear somebody saying in my head already, what about the colors? Can you mess with the colors? Well, once this gets done rendering, we're going to go over here. We're going to mess with dynamic fog, the fog offset. You can also pick a preset, which I have done in the past for some of my videos. It's main rendering still, but I can show you. I scrolled out and I'm going to come down here. It has a few preset gradients. One of the ones that I absolutely love is this silver one. when this actually gets done rendering and you actually get to see this, you will see why I like it. Um, so I also take this time to, I don't think it zoomed in right away. No, it didn't, I don't think. Or it did. This is where I take the time to look over the image. Is this something I like? Do I want to get into my mutagen on this and take a look at it? For me, I am going to look at this on mutagen because I like the shapes. I like this area right here. Once the shadows render in, I will actually see. Now see, this is why I absolutely love the neutral preset. However, I am going to go into my mutagen again and I am going to mess with a couple of these bars. As you can see here, I I really mess with these bars sometimes to get really cool designs. And we're going to regenerate some of these mutations. And what I love to do sometimes is I will sit, zoom in the navigator, let it render. Then I come into the mutagen. I will run it through a few generations, pick one I like, zoom in, let it render, and do it all over again. Sometimes I don't mess with any of these numbers because I absolutely love what I see. And I will actually send this one to the main editor blah, 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 and let it render. Because I will show you the shape. And see, you just now have to let your mind play with shapes, with colors, with dynamic fog, which I'll get into in a second. But this is a flippin' amazing program. There are other fractal programs out there, but for someone like me who loves to just dive in head first and teach herself things, this is that program for me. Um, a lot of the stuff that I currently have on DeviantArt for sale, I have not had to get into Photoshop and touch anything up at all whatsoever. This here makes me excited to see it. And the shadows are rendering in right now. So let's go ahead and come over here. I can change the dynamic fog color to anything I want. Purple, yellow, pink. But saying that, you see why I love this program. I saw this in Mutagen and I'm just like, what can I make out of here now? And I'm not even gonna get to the navigator to mess with this. What I'm gonna do is actually change my color and change my dynamic fog color. And what I did was I clicked on this first little square where my mouse is right here in the dynamic fog setting. And I can go to blue. I can go to pink. If I hit OK, it adds a hint of pink. The more I mess with it, that is good. Now, this is why I love messing with it as well, because you could get it to look a specific way. And so that pink dynamic fog in the background, if we adjust that, ooh, welcome to my mind. Quite literally, when I'm sitting here doing art, this is what I think of. Is it gonna look good? If I mess with the setting, if I mess with the setting, and you all are also getting to see how I teach myself. Because I'm a self taught fractal artist. I am a self taught abstract fractal artist. Ooh, it's turning this. Oh, yes! Okay. So then we can get into ambient color. We could get into depth of the fog. Um, I do like the far depth fog. I am actually going to change that. I wonder if. I wonder if we can do that a light-ish purple. Ooh, and see how that added that to the foreground? Cotton candy. So, what is the first thing you think of? Cotton candy. But I still have that darkish blue color that I don't like. So, if I wanted to, let's bring that up here, make that a little more purple. Now, see, there we go. This is what I absolutely love about this. You can get in here. I've messed with ambient fog. I'm not messing with any of this depth at all. The dynamic fog, I absolutely love the way this is turning out now. So, if you want a background image like stars or whatever, you, I think, can add this. I'm going to mess with this off camera because I've never had to mess with a backpick. And then I'm not going to mess with this. This is if you want to change your object color that you have. So, getting into this, you can also change your global light, your positional light. Let's actually go relative to objects. Can we? Okay, moving that. Can we? That makes it darker. That brings a little more light. Okay, so now that I have this done, how do you save the picture? Well, first things first, always make sure that you are zoomed in, not zoomed out, but zoomed in completely, viewing at a one to one. Um, the reason why is I've actually been zoomed out like this, and it's only saved this size file. And when I close out the program, I never save it, don't edit it, that kind of thing. I can't get back in and edit it. So what I do, and I know I should save it, but I'm doing these very quick. What I do is I come here to save pick. I don't mess with anything. I click PNG because I feel it gives the best quality possible for me. And then I will save as to whatever I have in folder specifically for my fractal art. Um, and then it will save. And let me go ahead and pull up that file and show you. I think it's saved in here. Da 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 da. Okay, so it is saving. And I always go into my folder that I saved this in, and I make sure it's saved. So, you all will now get to see the saved image that is loading up here on screen. This is the final image that we did right here on video. As you can see, it has saved a lot of detail. It's saved in the actual big file. So this is going to be, all I'm going to do is put my signature probably right here. And this is going to be a print that's going to be on sale on DeviantArt. I will also post my Twitter link down in the description below. I do let people know on Twitter when I release new prints on DeviantArt. So with that being said, thank you all so much. I really do appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you for coming to my little corner of YouTube. I am Ashi. Live life abstract, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.